Have you ever wondered what would happen if all of humanity came together with a single, colossal ambition? Imagine a world with just one language, one voice, one united goal. It sounds like a utopia, right? Well, it almost happened, and the story of how it all fell apart is one of the most fascinating tales ever told. After the Great Flood, humanity began to multiply again. They settled in a plain in the land of Shinar, which we now know as ancient Mesopotamia. Everyone spoke the same language and understood each other perfectly. This unity bred a powerful sense of confidence. They looked around and saw their growing numbers, their cleverness, and their strength. They started thinking, we can do anything we set our minds to. Let's make a name for ourselves. And so, the grandest construction project in history began. They said to each other, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. This wasn't just a skyscraper. It was a symbol of human pride and a direct challenge to the heavens. They had advanced technology for their time, kiln-fired bricks, which were incredibly durable, and bitumen for mortar, a waterproof adhesive. They were building something to last, a monument to their own greatness. The tower, which we call the Tower of Babel, began to rise, piercing the skyline. Day after day, the sound of construction echoed across the plain. The people were proud, unified in their defiance. They believed they could reach the heavens and secure their own destiny. Without any need for God, they wanted to create their own central point of power, directly disobeying the command to fill the earth. But as the tower grew taller, it caught the attention of its intended audience. The Bible tells us that the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the children of man had built. He saw their unity, but he also saw their arrogance. Their ambition wasn't to glorify him, but to glorify themselves. Their goal was to stay together and build a monument to their own power, rather than spreading out and populating the earth as he had commanded. So, God decided to intervene, but not with fire or flood. He chose a much more subtle, yet profoundly effective, method. He said, behold, they are one people, and they have all one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do, and nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. And just like that, chaos erupted. Imagine you're a bricklayer high up on the scaffolding. You shout down to your partner for more mortar, but instead of understanding, he just gives you a blank stare and replies in a string of sounds you've never heard before. Frustration turns to anger. The architect's plans become useless because no one can understand his instructions. The project grinds to a halt. Teamwork dissolves into suspicion and conflict. The very unity that made the project possible was now the source of its downfall. The name of the place, Babel, came to mean confusion, because that's where the Lord confused the language of the whole world. With communication shattered, the people could no longer live or work together. They began to drift apart, seeking out others who spoke and understood them. Small groups formed, and these groups eventually migrated away from Shinar, scattering across the face of the earth, just as God had originally intended. From this one event, the vast diversity of languages and cultures we see today was born. The story of the Tower of Babel is a powerful reminder of God's sovereignty. It shows that human ambition, when rooted in pride and self-glorification, is ultimately fragile. It teaches us that true unity comes not from building monuments to ourselves, but from aligning our will with a higher purpose. It's a humbling story, reminding us that no matter how high we build, we are always under the watch of heaven. What do you think? Is this a story about divine punishment or a necessary course correction for humanity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more stories that shape our world. See you next time.